Welcome to the Coaching to Flourish podcast. And I'm your host, Raj Anderson, Executive Life Coach and Coach Assessor. I'm here with John Andrew Williams, who's the founder of Coach Training EDU. And today we are celebrating our 100th Coaching to Flourish podcast, aren't we, John?
I can't believe it's 100. Wild.
I know. I know. How did we get to 100? What is it that you want to celebrate today, John?
I don't know, but if I were more on top of it, I would have flowers delivered to you, Raj, like right now. Like I would have had it all lined up. And I was like, yeah, that in another lifetime, in my parallel lifetime, I'd make this happen. But yeah, no, or something, something. But it goes quick. I think that's the thing that it didn't seem like too long ago that we did our first one and it felt like, wow, okay, like that was the first one that felt really good. I think we were still finding our footing at different points in time. Even this, like even this format, we're still finding our footing. But it feels like, wow, we did it. Just once a week for 2 years, you get to 100, and all the content that's been created, all the people, yeah, starting. It's a step.
Pretty
How
cool,
about for
actually.
you? I'm curious. Like 100, like what's the main takeaway from you reaching this milestone?
Well, I was reflecting on it before we came on the call, and I was thinking about when you first asked me. So when John first asked me, he was like, "Oh, do you want to do this podcast together?" And I was like, "Okay, yes, sure, John," right? Because I think there was a lot of growing that needed to happen for me. It's been an incredible growth journey, and I'm so grateful to you, John. I think sometimes we do need, or it's just fantastic when other people see that potential in you. And I'm grateful for that. And I thank you for seeing that in me. Because it's something that I wanted to do and I wanted to do for a long time. Yet it is nerve-wracking to put yourself out there live. And now I'm on hundreds of videos, which
Yeah. How about that too?
is fantastic. Uh, Yet when you think about it, it's a big deal. It really is. So I think just the learning from my own growth, building confidence, being courageous, and being consistent. Like what can actually happen when you are consistent in this type of thing? And there are so many things, as I said, I've learned about myself. But what are your thoughts, John, as I'm just sharing a few of those things in my journey?
Yeah, I think the consistency is the thing that is my biggest takeaway as well, where it doesn't seem like much in the time. Another Tuesday comes and you think, yeah, okay, cool. It's the time. I hop in, you do the thing. And it's almost like I expect it now. It's built into the life. Like life has created an ecosystem, a place for it. So uh, I feel like this podcast has probably had the biggest impact on you and me more than anything. And then it's okay, that impact also radiates out to other people on the team, other people watching and listening, people who are even indirectly here. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling is in this 100th one, the the consistency. It makes an there's there's an ecosystem for it. So here we
Yeah,
are.
absolutely. And it keeps the topics current. For
Mhm.
me, you know this really well when you are involved in running your own business and there are so many moving parts. And I'm a consultant and a trainer elsewhere as well as at Coach Training EDU. Sometimes there's not always the space to explore the current coaching topics and have that conversation. And I learned so much from you, John. And so the borrowed insight, the hot topics, the books. So it keeps it current. And I hear from coaches as well, it keeps it current for them
Mhm.
when they can listen and ask those questions as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we have we have an announcement too. Like we thought we would get to 100 and reassess and decide, okay, we're going to keep it going. Are we going to modify in some way? And I think, do you want to announce it, Raj? I think it's to you.
Yes, because I'm really, really excited about this. So we are changing things up a little bit, aren't we, John? And we are going to be bringing in coaching demos.
Yes.
We're going to invite people as well and listen to us today and then drop in the chat. We're going to drop an email address that you can contact us as well if you are interested in being part of a coaching demo. But we've been asked for this again and again, haven't we, John?
It's been on
What
my
would you
list.
share?
It's been on my list. I was working on something business oriented even this morning and picked and looked at on did a quick Google Drive search and got a document, a 7-page detailed document that was dated over 4 years ago on the exact topic that I was wrestling with. And I feel like, yes, like wasn't demos, but demos has a similar document that's maybe 4 years old. This has been on the to-do list for 4 years, and we're finally getting to it. Wow. Like we're here. This has been like a dream. It's sort of, I think, okay, let's talk about dreaming and doing, because I've been thinking, I mean, this is 100 and like, doing the thing. And I think what I realized is that uh, a lot of the things that people dream of, myself included, like listening to people who do things, dream things, dreamers and doers, this idea that the dream eventually does come to fruition, but usually it takes a little bit longer than you would like it to. That's what I found. And you got to know what your year, like, what is your, like, what's the dream to doing? Like, what's the delay? Like, what's your dream to doing delay? Because some people, they hit a really big when they're young, and then it's just like, poo, takes off, and then their dream to doing delay is maybe, I don't know, a year. I feel like mine is somewhere between 5 years and a decade. I feel like I'm 5 years in a decade of this is the dream I have. This is by when I want to do it. No, 5 years, 10 years later, it might happen. There's at least a 50% chance of it happening. Demos, I feel like, are in that space where I've been wanting to do these for years. They're finally happening. Raj and I and the team, we just met about this last week, talked about it, put something out there. We have our first people signing up for demos, coaching demos. So how it's going to work is I will work with someone ahead of time. We'll record it, or Raj or Hannah or some other coach. And then Raj and I, we're going to look at it on live together on this cast, and then discuss it, and then we'll see if we can get the person who was the client to join us as well or not. We'll see how that works out, but that's the format.
This is really exciting, John. And when we talk about coaching demos, so it's going to be an actual coaching experience that you're recording. Is that right?
An actual real life coaching experience. Yeah.
Okay. And why do you think demos are so important for us to share and talk through?
Yeah, I mean, I think we get lots of demo requests, and I've tried doing this kind of project in the past where I've worked with practice clients over a series of 10 sessions, um, but I didn't really have a great format for like the consistency of delivering. Okay, now this is my analysis of it, and I think what the magic of it is, this is now we have a vehicle, we have a consistent vehicle where we can do analysis. Now let's go back to those previous projects and dust off the demos, because you get to learn about coaching by watching coaching, by hearing master certified coaches go through their process and talk about, this is why I asked this question, this is where I went with it. I'll be curious too. I know I'm going to become a better coach from it, from you looking at these demos too, Raj, and he's saying, John, you asked that question quite a number of times. Really, like, what is that like to say that out loud? Like, you don't need to ask that every single question, but maybe I ask that every single coaching session, and man, it's okay. Because that's a big part of coaching. Like, what is it like to say this in the here and now? What energy shifts, as you're working through this. So I think that for me, being able to share demos, it meets the needs of the people who are in the training program, who will have access to the full demos. We're not going to watch the full demos on this. We're just going to pick parts of it. We'll jump around a little bit. But even listening to this, you'll be able to see, yeah, these are the main points. These are the highlights. This is why this matters in the coaching field. And so it's not just us saying, yeah, do these things. It's like, watch us do these things. Watch us talk about doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
Learn, and then let's play. let's see what comes up and let's change the world. Really, this is new human technology in terms of, people interacting with each other. I'm excited to start putting this stuff down and see what comes up with it.
And there's so much learning that can happen from that, isn't there? As you said, it's seeing that happen, the space that's being created, the types of questions, different tools. I will be really interested to see you and other coaches as well. How do you handle different kinds of scenarios? Perhaps there is a certain type of vulnerability coming up in a session, or perhaps the use of even direct communication. I think about all the questions I get asked as a coach, trainer, and assessor, and coaches wanting to see a demonstration of that.
Yep. Yeah, that's great. And then I have a list. I have a list of topics from our 1.0 and 2.0 that don't have great video demos yet for the course. And so I have a list of, if I have the opportunity to use a tool that I've been working on, or that I even have in my laboratory that I have yet to roll out, I'm going to use it and I'm going to talk about it, and it's going to be really fun.
It
So
is. Absolutely. So, what are we
yeah,
asking of our listeners today? What is that call to action?
there's a link. We're going to put the link out. So if you want to be a practice client, like a demo client, we'll call them demo client. If you want to be a demo client on and have your session recorded and then shared in this space in the Coaching and Flourish podcast, where I will talk about it, Raj will talk about it, and then you could also join us and talk about your experience as a client. Please fill out the form and get a 30-minute session on my calendar. I will meet with you. I will coach you for 30 minutes, and then maybe we'll schedule a couple of future sessions. We'll see. So I'm thinking we can see even the progression of, okay, this is the first time working with the client, second time, third time. We're going to see how this thing evolves and how it wants to grow. But that, like, please look out for that link, and if you're interested, grab a time on my calendar.
And what a great opportunity to be coached by an MCC coach. So I encourage you to seize that opportunity and just see what that experience is like.
Do you
Um,
have a link too, Raj? Do you have a link?
we can create a link.
Because if we create one, I'm signing up. I'm gonna be first one. You're like, wait a second,
Yeah,
who
watch me
is this
coach
person?
John.
I'm like, hi, I'm here to be coached.
Master coach. John was my
Yeah,
trainer.
I'll just
So
like I'll wear like different glasses or something. I don't know. Maybe I need to wear like, these are my these are my demo glasses, and then these are the ones where I'm live, like my live on Facebook or wherever, uh, LinkedIn glasses.
you're going to shift your persona there a little bit.
Maybe I'll just, yeah, do it from a different vantage point. Have my coaching background.
So I'm
Well, Zoom is
imagining that
funny.
now.
Zoom is fun. I mean, 200 years from now, I wonder what people will say about this time period. Be like, can you believe it? Like, this is what they did.
I know. I mean, I'm just learning and growing, even listening now and thinking about, the different kinds of things that show up for you in terms of the presence that you want to bring as a coach, even as a coaching client. I encourage you, if you're going to be in those demos, to really think about how you want to get the best out of it. As I said, it's a great opportunity to be coached by an MCC coach. Why do you think, John, then this is important that we continue this type of work for the future of coaching?
There aren't many great demos out there. We've done some Google searches. There are some, and then there are some that are like, yay, like good, like. But I think to demonstrate for the larger field, this is what life coaching is, and to demystify some of the misconceptions around the field. One of which, probably the biggest one, is being a life coach means that you are offering advice, or you have advice to offer, or that somehow you have mastered life and then you have these opportunities to help. I think this comes a little bit from a sports trainer, where you expect your sports trainer to also know what they're doing and have their own, be in shape themselves, but I mean, coaches, I think the biggest misconception is it's really what we're doing as coaches is we're letting others borrow our curiosity and listening. And when you allow another human to be very curious about your own life and ask you questions for your sake, you grow. And that's the very distilled version of what life coaching is. We're going to be able to show that, showcase it, not just talk about it, but really show, yes, this is it. And that needs to happen. The field needs to see that. Uh, and I'm excited to have your demos too, Raj, and to get your get insights on your coaching, insights on my coaching. If there are other coaches who are willing, who are at the ACC level or PCC level, who are willing to share demos that aren't that great, if there are demos that I do that aren't that great, I'll share them. Like I really feel like there is so much opportunity here to explore this space. We have the consistency, we have the systems. It's a great opportunity. Let's do it.
And I am really keen to see this type of coaching in demos as well. Because there has
Mm.
been demos that I've seen before, and they're not that there's not value add in that type of coaching or when people are mentoring or consulting. Yet there is a difference when you go really deep, isn't there? The impact on the person that you're coaching in terms of empowering them with their own resilience and resourcefulness. And I haven't seen enough demos out there around that type of coaching.
No, not yet. Not yet. We'll see. We'll see how they go. Uh, but yeah, it'll be fun. And there is something too, like just to be completely transparent, there's something about doing demo coaching that's not quite like, confidential me as a client coach. So this isn't, we're getting as close to that as possible without going into that, because everyone who's doing the demos knows, yes, we're recording this. Yes, this is going to be public. Yes, we're going to be talking about this. So it really is a demo. It's a demo. It's not the real thing, but it's as close to the real thing as we can get. And because the real thing cannot be shared, but this is going to be shared. So it's as close to the real thing that is as close to the shareable real thing as we can get.
And what else then should we be looking out for? I know in Coach Training EDU, you said that this has been a part of your dream, and sometimes dreaming and doing for you, it can be maybe it's 3 years, maybe it's 5 years, but what else did you dream before that we might be seeing in Coach Training EDU now?
Okay. The we're getting closer. The coach client matching app is there. We don't need testers for it. So we're going to test it with the trainers first, and then the participants in the class. Then we'll open it up. But it's ready. I mean, as far as I know, it's ready for testing. So it's exciting as well. That's a big one. I'll go in more detail on that when it's ready, and we have a website for it. But to me, I feel like the field of coaching is very clear. It's growing. It's clear that it is something that is becoming more and more accepted. I really do believe the future of education is going to center around coaching. It's going to take a little bit, but I think it's going to. I think there's going to be a movement for it simply because it works and it's more efficient and effective. And whichever group of people does it first on the largest scale, there will be huge advantages. So if I'm really dreaming big, I'm hoping that there will be a state that requires teachers to have an academic life coaching credential. It would be amazing.
That would be absolutely amazing. It really would. So, we're looking at the future of coaching. We've celebrated today. We've shared information on what's coming and demos and how to get involved. But I'm also hearing here nuggets of inspiration. What is possible when you plant a seed. You've got lots of plants behind you, John, and I know you've been taking cuttings there. So it's a good
I
metaphor,
should
isn't it?
send you a cut.
Yes,
I now know it. I've got, yes, that's what's going to be there.
that's what I'm going to look out for. So that will be my celebration cutting. But as we plant those seeds and we nurture them, What words of wisdom do you have, John, for people out there who may be afraid to start their own podcast, or maybe they're afraid of taking that next step with their dream?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I know coaching really well. I know the stuff, but like the media thing is kind of new. I mean, I've been doing this for 2 years, but it still feels relatively new. It still feels like we're learning. And um, there was a comedian who was asked a question. And it was a question of basically there was an audience member who was saying, "You're living my dream life." And the person on the stage said, uh, "You just keep doing the thing, like you just." And there's another podcaster who was saying the same thing. You just keep doing it, you just don't stop, no matter what. And I think that's it. I think that's it seems so simple, but that's that, you might need to pivot, you might need to reiterate for a little bit, you might need to eat, ramen for years, which we did. And you might have to go minimal for a bit, but just keep doing the thing. I mean, it's been 20 years basically of coaching, and I can imagine another 20 easy. It's going to get fun. I mean, it's fun. It's going to get more fun. What would you say, Raj? I'm curious.
Well, what I do want to say as well, John, I get a lot of inspiration from you because you do just do the thing. You do it and you give it a go. And we've talked a lot in our podcast about experimentation and the freedom that's there. And I think that's what's helped me learn and grow with you because you're not afraid to experiment. And I think that is that continuous message. It's like, I'm going to give this a go. And if it works in this way, great. If not, we'll pivot and we'll change it up and we'll attempt something else. And it reminds me of a motto that I had created for myself from NLP training that I had done, that there's no failure, there's only feedback. And I have learned over doing 100 podcasts, like, what's the worst that's going to happen? I mean, actually, when you work with great people and you bounce off each other and the energy's there, there's alignment anyway. So, you know,
Mhm.
surround yourself, I would say, with great people because you become the average of 5 people you spend time with. But when you surround yourself with that energy and you feel safe, it helps you to grow. Also, that question, what's the worst going to happen? Well, actually, what's the best that could happen? The best that could happen is I'm here live with you, John. I have like over hundreds of videos. I watch them back. I do watch them back
Yeah.
to have a look at my own growth and what I could change and what I could do differently. So that has been incredibly impactful, that experimentation, the learning and growing, and the focusing on what's the best that could happen versus, oh my goodness, there's like all of this media out there. Like, what's going to happen with it? Actually, we made an impact on people. We get feedback all the time.
I think the best that can happen is Oprah signs up for one of my coaching sessions, and then we talk about it with her on this cast. Like that's just rolling it out there gently. Best case
There
scenario.
you go. We've put it out there. This now needs to go viral. Anyone got any connections to Oprah? I'm actually going to add maybe even Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore has her own show and she talks about these kinds of topics. So let's put it out to the universe and see what we can attract.
I think we have Coach Training EDU has trained some very high profile individuals. We can't name them, but it's amazing. And I think one of the things that I've realized is they're just people too. And it's amazing. Like when you're like, wait a second, but I recognize you from the big screen. And then but then it's also like, but you're human and you have human things like we all do. So I think that I'm very excited about these casts. I'm excited about the opportunity to share demos of coaching. I have come to realize that when you are a life coach and you're working with a client, you are, and they're breaking new ground. They're breaking new, more understanding of themselves. You're literally standing on the forefront of human conscious awareness of ourselves. Like in the sense of, if you think of all the collective humanity, all of the collective knowledge, emotion, feeling that we have as a coach, you are helping a person further themselves. You are helping people further humanity. I'm excited to share that in this container, and then to see what comes up, to see the impact of the, listening and being involved in listening to the cast, what that does then to your own life and your practice. Like that's what I'm really looking forward to. If I'm going to be like the biggest goal out there that I have for this next upcoming year, is to start seeing the feedback from the people who are watching these things.
I love that. What a great note to finish on, John. I know we're on time. How do
Yeah.
we collectively expand human consciousness and unleash human potential? I'm excited to continue to be on this journey. We look forward to hearing from you. Get in touch, be part of this journey with us. Anything else you want to close out on, John, as we
Last thing,
celebrate today?
Raj, I just want to celebrate you and the consistency, which I feel like is the key ingredient that has been missing for this for years. And it's because of you that we're here doing the 100th. Because there are times when Ashley tells me, yeah, Raj can't make it. I'm like, me neither. Like, Raj isn't doing it. I'm not doing it. But you thank you. That is the hugest thing in making something like this works. And for me to have you to hold the consistency, hold it down. Thank you. It really matters. And we're here. And I'm looking forward to another 100, demos and the whole thing. Like, yeah, we're just getting started. Thank you.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be able to do this. So we look forward to then seeing everyone
See you next week.
next week. Take care.